part 2, here we go. Continuing with Adam A's questions from Facebook. His second question is, do you think the SmackDown creative team is being fair to the R-Truth character by not getting behind him and pushing because of his age? I don't think necessarily age is a part of why they're not pushing him. He is pretty over with the fans, but he's not over as much as he could be, I think. So I'm not really blaming the creative team for this. I'm going to go on record and pull a Chris Jericho here and blame the fans for not getting behind him as much as they can. I know that might make me a heel now in this wrestling video, but I don't think it's so much SmackDown Creative's aspect of it. I know the Pretty Ricky character really was really stupid and it hurt. It hurt him maybe a little bit. I don't know. But as far as that, I think him versus Rey Mysterio could be a good U.S. title match. Him versus Dolph Ziggler, or an Intercontinental title match. Him versus Dolph Ziggler. If Dolph Ziggler gets the Intercontinental title, could be a good match in itself. Honestly, I wouldn't blame the SmackDown creative team for it, because the fact that he does have a gimmick going to where he gets crowd reaction and crowd support and all that, but it's really up to the fans who support him more to maybe help him get that extra push he needs, especially with his age. So yeah, that being said, R-Truth, I mean, personally, I'm not that big a fan of him, but things could change. I said I wasn't a big fan of Jack Swagger and them. That changed. Dolph Ziggler as well. So yeah, fans just need to maybe get behind him a little bit more, and that might show SmackDown and the people in charge of that hey, we need to do something big with him. Maybe even a title feud or whatever. So yeah, next question. Do you count the ECW Championship as a World Championship? And his reasoning behind this, it says it's defended on almost every pay-per-view, it's defended on different brands, and also is the main title for the ECW brand. I don't really recall it ever being defended on other brands per se, but it is defended at just about every pay-per-view. But as far as a world title is concerned, I look at it kind of like and this might not go over too well with the independent leagues, but I look at the ECW more as a independent wrestling title, an indie fed title, because you've got younger stars coming up, and yes, while people like Tommy Dreamer and Christian have held it, and other people like the Big Show and all that, I don't really count it as a world title. The only one I really count as a world title is, of course, SmackDown's World Heavyweight Championship, because it is specifically stated a World Heavyweight title. Now, I'm not saying that the WWE title is any less, because other people have held it too, but I think it's a major title, almost like a world title also. But ECW, I wouldn't consider it a world title, even though it is defended on each pay-per-view and whatever. I've just never seen it as a legit title. Now, the original ECW back in the days, Paul Heyman, Taz, and all them, I see that one as a world heavyweight title, but not the one currently on the WWE product. And I know people will probably disagree with me because of the facts that I stated there, or the facts as I see them, which is all right. You're entitled to your opinion, but personally, I don't see the ECW heavyweight title as a legit world heavyweight title to me personally. If you're wanting to be someone in the business today, you either go with the TNA World Heavyweight title or the WWE title or the World Heavyweight title. Those are the three main big titles that mean something to an extent. So with that being said, that's my answer to the ECW question. And his last question is, I saw for the first time ever last week the Katie Vick segment. I'm glad you survived that. And I thought that was nasty, but it did give Triple H a lot of heat from the crowd. What were your thoughts when you first saw this, and what do you think WWE is trying to gain or do out of this storyline? First off, I didn't like the segment whatsoever. It didn't sit well with me. I thought it was, like you said, it was disgusting, and I'm surprised that WWE even decided to go with that. I think the main thing they was trying to do is get Triple H over as a heel at that time and whatnot, because I think he was still getting cheered a little bit also. But still, they were trying to get him over as a heel, but I can think of better ways of getting him over as a heel than that. I really think it was a low point and a low hit that WWE took, personally, with the Katie Vick storyline. So, I really don't even, like the storyline. I don't even really like talking about it. I try to burn that image out of my mind. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the Katie Vick storyline. Adam A, thank you for those questions. Next up, we have Jacob R from Facebook also, and his question is, in your personal opinion, where do you see the wrestling industry in 5 years? It's hard to say where something will be later on down the road. To me, I think TNA will be. You've seen it took them 7 years to get to where they are now. I think maybe in 5 more years they might be at that level with WWE, to where they can maybe give them a little bit of competition. As far as WWE goes, I think they will continue. Unfortunately, I really see this later, this far down the road. I really see them still pushing John Cena strong, and you all know my very dislike for John Cena and all that, but unfortunately, I think him and Triple H will probably still be the main players on wrestling as far as that goes. Hopefully, we will see people like Dolph Ziggler, John Morrison, all those sort of, mid-carders right now. Hopefully we'll see them in the main event level feud, and honestly, maybe helping fuel this entire TNA WWE competition that I think will more than likely happen 5 years down the road. So, I don't think it'll have as strong of an original old school wrestling fan base, because quite frankly, with me being a fan of the early 90s, pretty much the entire 1990s through 99 of WWE, being a fan of that, I really see them not really reaching out so much to me, even though SmackDown is mainly my favorite show right now, the WWE product, along with TNA Impact. So, hopefully, later down the road, TNA will have another show. As I mentioned in part 1 of the video, hopefully it will be competing more strongly with WWE. So, Jacob R, thank you for that question. I'm going to end this video right here, and I'm going to go ahead and make part 3, which will address Kingpin 88's questions. So go ahead and switch on over to part 3 right now.